So the next card is, where did you go to elementary school? And I started with kindergarten here and looking at where I went, Dockery. It was north of town. I have several memories from there. And one, I say to the last because I uncovered some really, really wild follow-up information to it. One of my first memories about kindergarten was getting Jamie Swafford's snow boots mixed with mine. And we had to trade it because I was 5. I didn't know how to read, but I recognized Swafford and thought they were mine. So there was a tornado drill to where we all had to get under the desk. I remember doing that. And before kindergarten, I used to share my lunch with the coon dog lady before I went to school. That was always a thing. But as far as the elementary, Deer, first through third grade was the name of the school. I do remember getting a SWAT once there. Mrs. Lehman. Yeah, it's a story I've told before. I didn't drink milk, and they gave you milk anyway. If you didn't drink the milk, you had to, on your way back to the classroom, put your milk on a table where they would like recycle it, basically. And whenever I went to do that, because I forgot and it was still in my hand whenever I was in line, I ran over there real quick to do it. And whenever I did, because I was running over there and I sat it on the table, and then it kept going and went over the edge. And she thought that I did it on purpose. And so therefore I got a SWAT in front of the whole lunch line there. So yeah, I'm okay. It didn't traumatize me much. Lincoln School for 4th grade, like everybody did. My memory from there is our teacher, Mrs. Baker. She won a car from IGA. There's some drawing, and Mr. George came in so that she could go down and get surprised about it. And he made up some story, because it was Mr. George, made up some story about what she was doing, which had nothing to do with winning the car. Shotwell then for 5th grade. And one of the things I remember from that was there was the smallest little library that they had there in the middle of the school, and all of the guys got pulled in there because all the boys have been going around doing a thing of meat gazer. Yeah, and so I remember, who was that? 5th grade, it was Mr. Copeland that called us in there and had to talk to us about what was appropriate and such. So going back to kindergarten, here's the biggest thing. I was great at persuasion, apparently, at 5 years old in line, because I talked the bus driver into letting a kid get off the bus with me. And the thing is that I would be home alone. I know it sounds crazy these days, but then at 5, I would get home and I would be there by myself for a little bit because my mom was a cook at the high school at the time. And so I would, be fine there for a little bit. But on this day, in all my wisdom, I talked the bus driver into, it must have been very convincing, to letting this other kid get off. It was like, yeah, no, he's supposed to go to my house today. Yeah. And so the thing is, remember, this is before cell phones and stuff, long before cell phones. And so we get in there, and I don't know why I decided that I would try to impress him. And the way that I thought that I would impress him, which I didn't even really like the kid. I don't know how this even happened. But the final of this story takes an interesting turn about what happened to him. But for whatever reason that I've been trying to impress him, I started taking baby powder from the bathroom and walking through the house and shaking it on the floor. And so there's just this trail of baby powder, and he's just laughing at me like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. And my dad walks in. Yeah, he happens to come home. And here he is with this kid that doesn't know who he is. Who's this kid? And why is another kid here? And why do you have baby powder all over the house? And so, yeah, he was not happy. You find that hard to believe, but my dad was not happy about that. And so we had to somehow figure out where he lived. And I do remember, Dad taking him, and we found it, and it was a freaked out babysitter that had been there waiting for him. And it was a house that was right across from the First Baptist Church. I remember that as well. So here's the thing. I was trying to remember the name of the person. I'm not even going to tell you, because whenever I finally remembered it and I looked him up online through an app that I have that can trace people down, and it just so happens that he has just been arrested recently, back December. He was arrested, and it was for having child pornography on his computer. Oh, and he worked at a school. Yeah. He'd been a preacher. He had left the Mormon church and started doing some preaching on his own. And his thing that he said to the police was that he liked young teenage girls. It wasn't like little kids. Yeah, I've been doing it for like 20 years. Yeah, he didn't think there was anything wrong with it. He's incorrect on that. And so I feel like it's all my fault, because I taught him how to lie, and I told him things that made him realize that there was a thin line between right and wrong. All these years later, it would happen. So I'm not going to serve his time for him, but there you go. So that's my card. Where did you go to elementary school?